hints as John first diagnoses and then repairs the front body panel.
Okay, gang. 2 videos ago, I mentioned that I had replaced this patch and that this area seemed kind of weak, that it had been in a wreck or something. Well, I got that feeling around and checking it out, comparing it against the other side, and it's all wrong. It's supposed to be a flat plane triangle like this, and then a flat plane trapezoid here. So I'm going to go, and you can see right here, I'll zoom in later, you can see right here that there was already some bad body work done here. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this out cleanly and then just put in a new panel right here. That'll make that much nicer and much structurally sound. So we are zoomed in, you can see better the awesome joinery they did there. So yeah, I'll have to take out these spot welds and then just cut up where it's supposed to go. I'll measure it on the other side and come down and mark where the real edges were, because again, it was all kind of just deformed into place. So we'll get to that. I'll show you how we do that when we get there. It's not a hard one. It's just, again, that's flat there and this is flat here. So there's no funky contours to be beaten into the panel. All right, so I just tried to take some measurements. I was just trying to find the center of these holes based on the other side. And I kept getting different numbers. If I measured from the top down or from the bottom up. So I went out to the donor car and said, what's going on here? And this is completely wrong. So if we look at this side, which is at least more correct than the other side. If we measure from the floor to this corner right here, it's 7 5/8. Okay? And that matches the donor vehicles. When we take that same measurement here, from floor to the corner, it's 8 1/4. So, when they supposedly fixed this, they didn't get this curve right. So maybe like starting there, from there to the windshield is probably right. But when they put it in this piece, they put it too high by a lot, like 3/4 of an inch. So there's no way that this hood ever fit right, or, I mean, it's just all wrong. So I guess what I'm gonna have to do, I was gonna just replace this and this, but since this is all wrong, I guess I'm just gonna cut this whole chunk out of the donor vehicle and just weld it in along this seam here. And that way I'll know I've got the right angle here, or curvature here. And then the distance from there to there should be correct. Then it'll have these holes in it. So, again, it's like the rear end of the car. I was just doing a little patch here, and all of a sudden the whole bloody thing is terrible. So, but we're getting there. All right, sorry folks. I got to doing this task and forgot about filming it. Anyways, all you're seeing is that I cleaned up this patch. I was trying to find these rivets, and in the meantime I found that this was a patch starting right here. I think we'd covered that. So what I've been doing this morning was cutting the same patch out of the donor vehicle, and it is a perfect match, thank goodness, because I did some research on Rimmers, and because Rimmers has more body panels than Moss. But anyways, so Rimmers called out 2 different part numbers for chrome bumper cars versus rubber bumper cars and the different years, etc. And it said it was different. So I don't know where it's different, but in this region, we're good to go. So all I've done in the meantime that I didn't film was cut this bad boy out here. And sure enough, and by the way, I left this flange here because that might help me with these hood nuts, welded on nuts here. That might help me orient the patch when I put that in, as will this little corner here. But sure enough, when I put that patch against the one that was in the car, this corner was up literally like 3/4 of an inch too high. It's supposed to, be down somewhere in there. So this will be a good fix for the car. I'm glad and / lucky that I stumbled onto it, because I would have been scratching my balls for a long time on that one, wondering why the fucking hood wouldn't lay flat. After all that work, that would have been, literally, when you think about it, that would have been one of the last things you do, is put the hood on the car, only to find out that it doesn't fit. And then you gotta find out why. I would have had to undo all the fenders and the nonsense and the wire harnesses, and oh my God. So, as shitty as this is, it is a blessing that I found that at this stage of the game. All right, I'll let you know when I got more stuff.
So what did you find, and what do you think is going on?
All right, so a little further inspection. When you look, it's interesting, on the other one, this lower edge was actually below the edge of the sheet metal under here, and this one's bulging down. And sure enough, if you, I don't know, it's a good camera angle, it looks like it's having trouble focus, but you can see that from this point to this corner, there's a drop of a good 3/4 of an inch, which is what we were finding. So apparently the chuckleheads that were doing this, when they put it in, said, "Oh, my flange is too low," right? So they falsely, instead of recognizing that this plate was bent down, they just said, "Oh, hell, I better raise that up," and then did all their sheet work that locked it in place. So, unbelievable. So, but what's nice, I'll get this plate off. I got a bunch of rivets here that you can see. I'll get that off as clean as I can, and then that gives me the ability to flatten this plate out right here, and maybe weld in a little bit of flange that's kind of rotten right here. Again, we're going to be a heck of a lot better than we were before noticing this nonsense. So that last piece of scrap has been removed. This flange has survived pretty well, and so now I'm gonna clean this up, because I noticed there's some Bondo here. So I want to see what has been messed with, and then it's just going to be some dolly work to get this back flat, this plane flat, because right now it's bending this way. All right, one step at a time, eh? All right, so I got the panel cut. I'm clecoed in temporarily, and then I started lasering in level, because I wanted to make sure that the frame wasn't bent. But luckily, similar to that back passenger quarter panel area, it's confined to, just like a 1 foot circle, just deformed right in this area, which is good. So this is the panel from the donor vehicle, and this was original. But what happened was, again, this got pushed down maybe a ½ inch or so, which is why when I kept taking measurements from this corner to this plane, what they had actually done was they got lucky. Just because of this flange right here and this flange, this particular curvature, this curve here, is fairly solid, okay? So they got lucky because the distance from this point to the ground, parallel ground,
Don't forget to hit those buttons.
matched the other side. So the hood did lay in there correctly. But since this panel got pushed down, that's when they decided, they didn't notice it, or I don't know, you never can tell. But that's when they decided to start banging this whole area around and welding in a new piece and this, that, and the other. So what they did was they locked in this point as being okay, i.e. the hood, but they locked in that this panel right here was bent down. So I went back in and lasered everything and measured everything, and it's all good, but I have to bend this, just this much of it. I've got to bend it up 1/4 inch, and then I've got to flatten it all because it's undulating, just because people beating on it so much. So from floor to this plane right here, right now is 1/4 inch more than the floor to this point. So I gotta bend this up, but you can kind of see there's a dip right here. So I've got to remove that dip from front to back. And the way I'm gonna do that, because you're kind of beating on just metal with nothing behind it, which means it can just keep deforming, you need a rigid back to bang against for it to form. So I'm going to cut a piece of 4x6 standing on end at the height of the underside of this plane, underside. And I'm going to stick that in here. I'm going to use that to bang on from the top, and that'll give me a nice flat sturdy surface, so that this piece of metal, just this piece right here, will conform to that flatness, and we should be good to go. All right, so I've cut the 4x6 to the underside dimension of this, which is 32 7/16. And now I have something firm to pound on to get all of this deformation out. There's a ripple here. Excuse me. This is all dimpled, rippled. I got to clean up this flange. It's got a tight radius here, but then it expands here from when they were beating on it. And then, of course, this is all bunged up, this front edge. So let's start banging. All right, so I did my pounding, and I've got I cut off the extra that I had on the patch panel, and we're lined up good. We're clamped in place, and I am within like a 1/16 of an inch in my dimension, so that from ground to where's my finger? This corner. And then matches on this side, and then the height from the floor to this plane matches. So we are good to go. So I'm going to clean up the patch panel and then start welding that boy in place. And that'll be another unexpected task off the list. So here's the repair panel in. and completed. Again, I'm gonna grind all the welds. Don't worry about the what you're seeing. It'll all be done. But we're getting closer because I'm running out of rusty spots that I know about to fix, which means she's getting close to getting pushed outside and sandblasted. And then I will do the OSPHO treatment to get down into the nooks and crannies and try to stop whatever rust is progressing and then that I can't get with the sandblaster. And then 2-part epoxy. But I'm happy to announce that after this journey, the majority, or at least the bits I know about that are were rusted, have been addressed. Now, the hope is that when I get to the sandblasting, I don't uncover a bunch of little pinholes all over the place. That would be that would rank high in the suck factor. But I've come this far, so we'll do what we got to do. I just realized I got to fix this. Not sure what the hell that was for. Maybe someone was trying to put it on a spit at some point. But so we'll put a repair in there. I still got to finish the battery racks. And actually what I'm going to do in here, because this is the old style wanting 2 6-volt batteries, is I'm going to make a rack that fits into the rack that makes it a longer right now it's tough to explain, but I'll trace it with my finger. It kind of comes across and then comes up, right? And then the 6-volt was supposed to fit on this plane here. So what I'm going to do is make another rack that fits into the rack that extends just a longer flat that will hold a 12-volt battery, because I don't want to be farting around with 2 6-volt batteries. That's silly nowadays. So I'll make that. That's just a couple of pieces of sheet metal. That's easy. And then we're ready to go.
Mystery solved. Thanks for watching and join us for our next episode.